You're gonna do what's it called? ASMR. On today's podcast, you get to listen to me sip on my cold brew. It's very therapeutic. Delicious. Just kidding, folks. Not gonna happen. Although it might happen on accident.
Oh my God, Jax, get your shit together.
Come on, bro. Get up there. Just do it. Do it. But not with my mic, bro.
Wah wah. What's he doing, bro?
Have some slight technical difficulties. There you go. Okay, cool. We're good. Speaking of Jax, this black wolf, this 100% wolf. He's not a Belgian sheepdog. He's a wolf.
Wolf.
I saw a little bit of Alpha yesterday. You know what that movie is about the beginning of.
Yeah, Lisa said I should go watch it.
It's not bad. It's pretty good.
Well, then I'll do that.
Yeah, it's not a bad film.
I think it's for rent on demand now.
Yes. Yeah, I mean Redbox as well. I mean
Okay.
it's out. I have no idea when it came out in theaters.
It didn't do long. It didn't do well.
Okay.
It wasn't out that long.
Where you at, dog fans? Where you at?
Well,
Just kidding.
that's
Just
funny
kidding.
because I don't know. I don't know how you make movies anymore. I don't know how you make movies that aren't
Great.
not even great movies are not being made right now because the only thing that sells is generic bullshit.
Well,
If it's not a
actually,
comic book, if it's not a superhero, it's almost not worth making.
well, I keep hearing. I have yet to hear anything bad about Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well,
I
so a
keep
biopic,
hearing
I
that's
think-
such a great movie.
I think that they were smart there because there's love of Queen transcends generations. And so yeah, I agree with you. But I don't know.
Hey, Charlotte.
Even then I would be interested to see like what the revenue is compared to even a bad comic book movie.
Oh,
Because I'm sure it's doing well, and I've heard the same thing. I've heard it's good. There's some people that are being nitpicky about it, but like,
I keep hearing nothing but good things. I have
but
yet
here's
to
the
hear
deal.
bad
Are you gonna go see it?
I want to go see it.
But are you gonna go see it?
Depends if I
Better
go
not,
with anybody.
because well, that's the thing. Like, even if you want to see it, Adrian won't be interested. So that's one of your moviegoers.
Oh, I wouldn't take her.
Okay, and
I
so
would
like,
be ask a friend like, hey, who wants to go?
right, but like that's one of those things. Like, if they aren't into Queen, if they're not into Freddie Mercury, who if they're not into Queen, they definitely don't know who he is. If they're not into kind of the gay rights movement,
Could have been worse. We're still going strong.
then it might be difficult, even though we know it's a great movie and it's very, very interesting, it might be difficult to find somebody because look at, what was the Bradley Cooper movie that just came out with Lady Gaga?
I heard that was good, but I wasn't going to go watch that.
That's it. So you heard it was good, and I heard it was okay. It's funny, Robert said it was trash. But that had a lot of hype, and it still didn't do as well as they wanted it to. And
I
so,
heard a lot of praise from Bradley's part. Like, he had to train his voice to do this and do that. Like,
right.
but, yeah, no. But, I mean, with Queen, like how you said, like, it transcends ages. Like, I would go see it because I've known the Queen. They've been
Right.
a part of my life the whole time. I've heard that. Everyone's heard that one song, so I'm interested in seeing that. And the dude they chose for the actor, like, I'm very interested in, like, them choosing him. And apparently he might win an award because of how good his
No,
performance.
absolutely. Well, I think he's going to be nominated for sure.
Because I've
but-
usually seen him in small roles. That's why I'm like, oh, they chose him for that role. Like,
Well, he's the main character of I
I know what you're talking about, that show.
Robot.
It's not iRobot. That's Will Smith.
Mr. Robot.
Yeah, there you
Mr.
go.
Robot, which is a good show.
Is
It's
it?
a great show.
It's like 2 seasons in, right?
Then I would think I've seen all of season 1. I didn't check in on season 2. They lost me on the break, but season 1 was awesome. Oh man, I thought his name was gonna come to me. But anyways,
No,
Malik.
no.
Is
it
his
will,
last
it
name
will not
Malik?
come to me.
Anyways, I'm sorry. So yeah, and I mean, so you've picked one movie. You've picked one movie that happens to be out right now. But aside from that, what is a not Marvel, not DC movie that's crushed the box office in the last 5 or 10 years? Nothing. We don't appreciate, and also like it's too saturated, and also movie tickets are too expensive, and also the concessions are too expensive, and also our TVs are getting better at home, and our surround sound's getting better at home. So why not just watch it when it comes out on demand?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very difficult now for that. What is? I mean, and I don't know the numbers, but 15 million to 75 million movie to come out, and this is something I've heard discussed on many podcasts about how it's difficult to be more creative now.
Out of frame.
I'm out of frame. Okay.
Well, just on this.
And so I think I can't imagine being a movie maker right now.
Closer.
Like, I think comic book movies are bullshit. Like, I think they're not creative, they're redundant, they're derivative. Like, everything is the same these days. Every comic movie ever made. Now, all it is they're getting, like, to make it different, they just kill more people. Like, oh, I bet they weren't ready for us to kill a main character. And you're like,
more serious, yeah.
Wow, that's real original.
I enjoy that.
Well, sure, and I don't knock anybody that doesn't like, that likes comic book movies, that's fine, but like, you want to tell me that the animation's not the same? You want to tell me that the explosions aren't the same, that the synopsis, the bad guy looks like he's going to die and not win, then the good guy looks like he's going to die and not win, then the good guy wins. Like, oh, wow, where did you get that plot line? So,
it's all entertainment.
that's every Marvel movie ever made.
It's bringing those stories to life that people only read about and seen in comics. And like, oh,
you're giving it too much credit. The comic book readers are the minority here. It is a majority of people that just want regurgitated bullshit.
A little bit of that, but also the entertainment business is driven by the youth. So you have to take that into account. Like everything.
So why is the youth not more original?
I don't know. It doesn't take much. It's like new hip hop. They call it mumble rap. All those kids love that stuff.
Well, see, I don't mind that because it's I don't like it. I'm not something I'm going to listen to. However, I understand that each generation wants to make its own mark. And so just because I don't understand what's being referred to as mumble rap doesn't mean I get to tell some 18-year-old he's wrong for enjoying that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's old man right there.
Yeah.
Like back in my day, rock and roll was rock and roll, and now you got these beats and stuff, and it's not rock and roll. It's like, okay. And that's a real opinion, and that's real. Like, if you came from AC/DC, then Creed was not a great band for you.
I like Creed.
You know? And so, Led Zeppelin, and then you go into what's playing now at BuzzFest, you're like, oh, no, this is trash. I get that. But you can't then say, hey, 25-year-old, you have to like what I like.
Did you ever go to BuzzFest?
No.
I did, like 3 times. I don't remember the last time I went was.
Well, now they have them like 3 times a year. So.
I think the last time I went to was Korn.
Was one of the guys, one of the bands?
Yeah. They were a headliner. So long ago. Good times.
Yeah. All right. So happy Friday. Is it Friday? Happy
Friday.
So still,
it's Friday.
It's a little bit later than we normally record. It's 10:30 now.
I almost got scared. I thought I told people the wrong thing today.
What do you mean?
I thought I accidentally said the potluck was today.
Oh.
But I didn't. I said tomorrow.
Potluck is tomorrow.
And then I was like, wait a minute, but is it today? I was like, wait, no, today's Friday. It's not. Potluck tomorrow, guys.
All right. Glad Joel worked that out himself. So today
is
Friday. Happy Friday. We already had 2 classes today, the 8 a.m. and the 9 a.m.
Super fun workout. Everybody looked jacked.
Yes. I think you're out of frame now, unless you lean.
No, I scooted in. Now we're closer, man.
Okay. Awesome.
Now I get sick.
And so yesterday was Thanksgiving. We did not have any classes. I hope everybody was able to get at least some time away. I was able to go out with my family and spend some time out there. Always good to spend time with family. How was you had a little bit more excitement. You had multiple events on your Thanksgiving.
Multiple.
So how was your Thursday?
My Thursday was fantastic, getting to sleep in a little bit. I actually overslept a little bit. I had set an early alarm because I was like, you know what? Before going to play football with the friends, I'm going to make myself some breakfast, get a great start. Nope. Woke up at the time I was supposed to be there, and I was like, oh, shit. Just threw some clothes on and then went out there, had a mini warm-up, and I didn't pull a hamstring. So for those of you that don't know, I do this every year with my friends from school, from way back childhood, so it's always a good time to see them. Get together, throw around the pigskin, right? And last year, I accidentally pulled my hamstring, doing something I don't ever do. Part of CrossFit, one of the things that Glassman says is actively learn and play new sports, or just play a sport in general. Don't just stick to the weight room and don't do anything outside. Well, at that point, that's all I was doing was just gym stuff. Never was I running sprints or cutting and whatnot, and on a cut, strained my hamstring or pulled it. I don't know what happened. Didn't go to the doctor. I just stayed off of it. Eased my way back into walking and running and whatnot. It wasn't a devastating injury. I just couldn't do some things, folks. And this year, didn't happen. Did all the running, and it didn't happen. So, but also, I didn't do any cutting as well. So I always just started off on a jog and then sprinted towards the end. So there was that. It was in the back of my mind, and it's not fun getting injured, folks. Had that, got home, walked Bruce, helped out in the kitchen a little bit, seen the funniest post I've ever seen, which I'll share with you later. And then just kick back with family.
I'm sorry. A highlight of your Thanksgiving was something on the internet?
One of them, yes. It was the funniest thing I've ever
Why don't
seen.
you, if it's this good, why don't we go ahead and share it?
So I can't pull it up on my phone. Okay, so it was a GIF, right? It was a GIF. It had Drake. He was in the kitchen. He had a cup. He was dancing around. He looked like he was having one hell of a time, right? And the meme said, oh, I can't quote it. Okay, it said, when you're in the kitchen doing the absolute least amount of work, but you're still stressing out your mom. It was the funniest thing ever. And I actually had quite a few hits on it. People were like, that is hilarious. And I showed my mom, and I actually quoted what we said. On the post. It was in my story. I said, shows mom, shows the meme. And then under my mom, she said, that's you, motherfucker, word for word. That's what she told me. And I was like, I helped out. What are you talking about? I did things. Checking the levels. What's going on?
No. Okay.
But yeah, it was a great
how was
time.
The meal?
The meal? Oh, you can't ever go wrong with the meal. Chicken. Oh, yeah, actually, I have a cool topic about the meal. Chicken, stuffing, mashed potatoes, macaroni. Macaroni's always what I look forward to. I don't ever eat it. So when Thanksgiving comes around, it's one of my favorite things. The turkey was juicy. I was talking about this while you're out there. It was not dry.
So did you actually say chicken earlier, or did you have chicken and turkey?
My
you
bad,
just said
turkey. My bad, folks. The turkey was juicy. It wasn't dry. Stuffing. I don't do cranberry sauce. I don't know about y'all, but I am team anti-cranberry sauce. I hate that stuff. Other than that, yeah, pies. Pecan, pumpkin, coconut. No, I didn't have no coconut, but we have some. Flying saucer, for those of you that are from the neighborhood. Not this neighborhood, like the hood. Flying Saucer Pie Co., the best in the business. Fight me on that one. How about you, Ben? What'd you have?
I mean, I think what was on the table: turkey, dressing, mashed potatoes. There was a cranberry dish. Oh man, I'm missing. Oh, roasted vegetables. Vegetables. So, get your veggies and your starches in there.
Green beans.
Pretty healthy meal there. What do y'all go get the? When do y'all get the flying saucer pies? Y'all don't go day of, do you?
No, day before. Day before, but even then there's a line. My sister was in line for those. And people wait out even on Tuesday for it. So
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I had completely forgot about those. I was going to go after the gym Wednesday, but I just completely spaced out and went straight home. But luckily my sister went to go wait in line, so she was able to get her hand on some.
Yeah.
So
do they limit how many you can bring home?
Nope.
So if you wait the 3 hours, whatever, you could buy them out. Like, I want 1 million pies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll have that many pies, but sure.
Yeah, well, you get the point. Okay.
If you came up with Jeff Bezos, I want to buy your whole pie shop today.
I was always wondering that. Like, because, I mean, the wait is incredibly long. And
I mean, I'm not sure. They might have some sort of limit.
Yeah.
Like 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Who knows? No one's really had to push the limit, really.
Well, I'm sure somebody has.
Sir, you can't buy that many pies.
Cannot have that many pies.
Others need pies too.
Well, good. Who is at your meal? Like, who comes to the Thanksgiving meal?
It was just us and then my sister's boyfriend, and that's it. Just us. Just keeping it small. I think we might go visit my dad's brother today. Not too sure. That's up in the air. Other than that, it's just us. We keep it super tiny.
Nice.
Super tiny, super cozy. Watched a movie together. We watched Alpha. That's why that was on. Some of the football games were all right. But Alpha was all right. I mean, it wasn't that great of a movie. It was cool if you're interested in the history behind Dog and Men and what they think happened.
Oh, is that what it's about?
Yeah. How it all started.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
It's how man and dog became one.
Yeah, the always amazing Elisa at 5 a.m. told me that I needed to go see that. I imagine because of that guy right there, Big Jax. Well, good. Okay. I thought maybe what we could do today, in the interest of it being Thanksgiving and kind of a season of an opportunity to do something that we should be doing all the time, which is being intentional about recognizing what we're grateful for, what makes life good, what makes life worth getting up each morning. And I want this to be as shallow and as deep as it can be, whatever. There's no rules. Like for a real easy example is 2018. I'm extremely grateful for iced coffee and
Oh yeah.
the caffeine that delivers.
Mm-hmm.
And we're drinking Boomtown again, and so that I was able to get over there. The line was
Was it ridiculous?
the
You
queue.
timed it right. You showed up and everyone. We had just finished the workout.
Yeah, so I guess I took exactly 25 minutes.
You did. You definitely did.
No, they moved it well. But I'm grateful for coffee, and we'll get deeper in that. We won't keep it that shallow. I just think it's really important because one, people deserve to hear that you're grateful for them, and so we'll get to, hey, grateful for every athlete that walks in here and all that. But two, it's also, we've read about recently like gratitude practice and things like that. And it is therapeutic. It's incredibly therapeutic, especially in times of high stress or high anxiety. If you can take that moment to just write down a few things that make life good, it a lot of times allows you to recalibrate or refocus and kind of bring things back into rational thought. And so, off the top of your head, and then as we kind of get our muscles flexed here and accustomed to the practice, what comes to mind? If I said, what's the number one thing you're grateful for right now, in this, like a shallow one, something silly. We'll save deep for the end.
I mean, I actually thought about this yesterday. So, I mean, none of them are really shallow. I mean, sure, I'm grateful for coffee, but honestly, I'm really grateful and thankful for everyone that is in my life. I'm thankful for the gym and the opportunity you have granted me here. I'm thankful for my supportive family. Of course, thankful for coffee, but I'm thankful for everything that's going on in life, because everything in life, there's a chain reaction for everything. Everything has led to this place right here. Someone you've interacted with has caused you to be a certain way. And I feel like without this place, I would be a different person. Like, I feel like this place has changed me a lot, so I'm real thankful for the gym, all the people in the gym that I've interacted with, my interactions with you. I mean, for sure, like that's that's what I'm thankful for, like this stuff. So I really don't have a shallow one. I mean, of course, again, all the small things, yeah, but I'm real thankful for the people in my life, family, friends, the gym. There's just a lot to be thankful for. I mean, if we're here talking on this podcast and people are viewing us, that's a blessing in its own. You should be grateful and thankful for that, because there are people that are in the world that don't know what a podcast is, or don't know what iced coffee is, or what a gym is. So there's a lot to be thankful for, and I'm thankful for all of it.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it on the people in the life, and let's speak specifically to the men and women we get to work with every day, because I think, look, I believe that often, I bet the norm in society is you wake up, you go to work without any thought. Whether you're miserable, whether you're happy, you don't think about it a lot. But let me explain something to those of you listening. Here, we think about that stuff all the time, because one of the things we express to y'all, and one of the things that we truly, truly mean and we practice in our own lives, is like, if what you're doing is not worth doing, don't do it. Okay? And I mean that. And so even with us here as those that are kind of running the show, that are opening the doors at 4:45 in the morning every day and all of that, I don't want y'all to believe that we're just going through the motions. There might be days where it's hard for us to be excited. There might be days where maybe we are going through the motions in terms of like physically, like I can't get up for it. But macro view, if y'all weren't worth getting up for, we wouldn't do it. Like, simple as that. The 4 a.m. wake up, like having the doors open 4:40 or 4:45, like that's no small feat. And those of you that have joined us from other gyms that work out at the 5 a.m., y'all know that. Because you've been from gyms where they get there right at 4:59, or they open the doors at 5:02. And sure, you get a class, but you can tell the coach doesn't want to be there. And if you've been with me for, seat jack.
Oh, you just committed the robbery on me, bro?
Straight up.
Just
And now he's staring you
Just
down.
committed the robbery and looks at me like he knows I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, he's like, hey, man, thanks for warming my spot.
I think he just wants us to be closer.
Thanks for warming my spot.
Yeah, okay. That's messed up, bro. Now it's cold.
I can't explain it. There are days I'm not gonna pretend that there are days like I pop out of bed every day. But I'll tell you this, man. There are very few days where I dread getting moving once I'm up. There are days, plenty of days, where I have a hard time getting up. Like the bed is warm, especially now it's cold, especially with being sick the last week. But like once I'm up and dressed, rarely am I not, I'm not going to say excited, but it is kind of excitement. Like
ready to go.
Ready to open the freaking doors, ready to get these people moving,
Yeah.
And I think that's a testament to one, working alongside you, and you do such a good job of bringing energy every day, and two, the people that come in ready to work, have great attitudes about them. We're very lucky that the 5 a.m. class is comprised of who it's comprised of, because they set the tone for our day, and we're very lucky. Yeah, the coffee helps, and yeah, sleeping more helps. But I could sleep 9 hours and have a great cup of coffee, and if 5 a.m. wasn't ready to go, my day still starts off on the wrong foot. So the joy that I get from work comes directly from the people that we get to work with. And so I think that we're very, very lucky. And
yeah, like we get to interact with so many people and so many different personalities in one day, more than other people get to do. Sure, you got people who work in the food industry taking orders, but that's all they do. That's their only interaction. Hi, how can I help you? What do you want? Okay, this is your total. Bye. You want to catch up? Okay, bye. We get to have conversations with people, find out what they did with their day, and just get to hear their side of the story, their story. Just, it's pretty nuts. Like when you think about it, like we are interacting with over 100 people a day, every day.
Every day.
All
and
the time.
of those, we're having a personal conversation, at least briefly,
Yeah.
with probably 90% of them. There's probably 1 out of every 10 that sneaks in and sneaks out, doesn't really want to talk. But for the most part, 9 out of every 10 athletes, we're having at least a 30-second conversation about something personal, and not just like, hey, here's a kettlebell swing. Hey, here's how to do a pull-up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we're in a very, very fortunate position. And as we build this business and we can get more, build more financial security for ourselves, it allows us to even be more effective. And I think that's also what I'm grateful for in 2018 is this year things changed financially for the business. And, it's not polite to talk about income and not polite to talk about money, but like it's also not polite to get evicted from your apartment a year ago and not be able to pay your bills and have to move into your warehouse and sleep on the floor. So, in 2018, things changed a lot financially, and that's, yes, testament to hard work put in by the staff and building things. But honestly, if you look at most of the growth in membership, it's from our athletes sharing their experiences here with their friends outside of here, and their friends wanting to come be a part of that.
Yeah. Hey, I brought a friend.
And that's it. And so y'all being proud of what we do and helping us to run a business that y'all can be proud to be a part of, because it's still not just us. The survey we sent out, that's how we get better. And then before that, just having conversations with y'all about what y'all like and then things that you'd like to see improved. That in 2018, that became a lot more productive.
Yeah.
I think the years before that, and I'll be open about it, my insecurities as a result of us not making financial gains that would allow me to pay my coaches well, that allow me to take any money myself, it made me really insecure. So in 2016, 2017, if someone came with feedback, especially if they didn't deliver it kindly, which sometimes back then athletes failed to do, it was easy for me to just be reactionary to it and not necessarily take a lesson from it. So in 2018, as a result of our hard work, but more so y'all's sharing y'all's journey with your friends and allowing us to build this membership, we have the smallest coaching staff in town. And I think we have a top 5 size gym in town in terms of CrossFit affiliates. And so that's that's very opposite right there. So we have Amanda, she gets in here when she can, but we have 2.5 coaches, It's you and me, and then it's Amanda on Sunday. And let's go ahead and go there. I'm very grateful that we have Amanda.
Yeah.
Because one, she could come in on things like Tuesday and Wednesday of this week and kind of take a load off of us, give us a little bit of a break. But two, her being able to be here on Sundays, one, she runs a great class. I mean, she programs that herself. The clients always have fun. We've always had a good showing on Sunday, but now it is consistently 20 people at 10:30 on Sunday.
It's crazy.
And that's her, man. And so I'm grateful that she's on the team, even if it doesn't feel like she's able to be here a lot because she's so busy elsewhere. Her small contribution is actually a huge contribution.
Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah, so I'm very grateful for that, and we're very fortunate to not have to be working on Sundays every Sunday. And so with that being said, with 2.5 coaches, we have 150, I think 160 athletes now paying out. I mean, that's incredible, right?
Nice.
And so, you know, it's in 2018, you know, I'm able to now be more.
We're talking about 95, 96. 94.
I remember when we used to, so for those who don't know the journey, we started a different location. We stalled out at 60. I couldn't get consistently above 60 athletes for a year. And then we stalled out at 90. And then we stalled out at like 105. And like the stall was like 3 to 6 months at a time. Like we'd get there real fast. Once we started growing from 60, we grew to 90 really fast. And then you plateaued. And it's funny how that happens. And except it's not funny when you desperately need that money because you want to pay your coaches to be able to pay their bills and get their groceries, and you want to pay yourself to be able to pay your bills and get your groceries, and you're not able to do that. And so, to be now on the up and up every month, we're very, very fortunate for that. And so I want to thank y'all for that. I mean, that's something that I cannot express to you. Like, and I've said this before, I moved in here because I got evicted. I could not pay my rent on time. I was always able to pay it by like the 12th. But in order for me to pay my coaches last year, I had to pay them first, and then I would take my money second. And that meant I wasn't paying my apartment's rent until about the 12th, and my apartment complex was great for a couple months on that. But eventually they said, hey, man, if you're not going to pay us, like, what can we do? We're still a business. And so I got evicted. So I moved in here for that. Well, when I lived here from November 15th through March of this year, November of last year, I was ashamed to live here. I was living on an air mattress. When it deflated, lived on the floor for a little bit, finally got a twin mattress, lived on the floor on the twin mattress. And when we didn't have enough money, I was ashamed to live here. And then in March, things took off. Kind of things came together. We shed some fat in terms of some team members that weren't contributing and adding just stress. You and I started to really hit a stride here, and we exploded. And then suddenly, I wasn't living here because I had to. I was living here because I could, and it afforded us opportunity to do more things with money. And so,
because right now you could get an apartment if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
Right now you could get out and just like, you know what, I had enough time here and just go move out already.
I mean, this month was a year. Yeah. So I've lived in there for a year this month. And
gray bubble.
Got a couple gray bubbles. And so, you know, all this to say.
Hello.
Well, Martin, let us help you, Martin. We'll get your CrossFit body back. And Kirby's going to hook us up with some canvas prints or a link to order some canvas prints so we can build the Joel Museum of Photography. And so
that's another thing I'm thankful for here. Without this gym, I don't think I'd be where I'm at with photography.
Photography's awesome, man.
That's crazy. I don't think I would have been doing that if I was doing something else.
But yeah, so I mean, basically all that, let's sum it up with simply without y'all being as positive, as hardworking, as driven as y'all are being,
as encouraging,
we wouldn't do this. And it's a little easier for me to say because I think this is my 8th or 9th year, coming up on my 8th or 9th year, because I got my L1 in December of 2011. We're going to say 2011. And so that means I'm ending 2018, 7 or 8 years. I don't know. I know what else is out there. Hey, man, I got myself an education. I got myself a network. I could go get a job somewhere else and sit in a cubicle and make a lot more money than I'm making now. And I've known that even when I moved into this cold-ass warehouse and slept on the floor. We do this because of y'all. And it's not a job that requires us to have a sense of martyrdom. We don't need to be seen as sacrificing. we also do this because we love it. We do this because we do believe we can build something that allows us to live comfortably. But without y'all, without your, and that's an easy thing to say, without y'all, but I mean you individually, you watching right now, if you're watching this, you are probably an athlete of ours. And if you are an athlete of ours, I can assure you, you are a cut above other people. And it's whether it's integrity, okay, whether it's positive attitude, whether it's support, because you help us, you offer to help, you take care of us. Even like little gifts. Becca brought us those baked goods on Wednesday.
Shout out to Becca. Those
Such
are
a small
amazing.
thing, and well, not a small thing, by the way, because I could never bake that. I could never make that. I mean, she's
a culinary wizard.
yeah, absolutely. But like a little gesture like that, like
Wizard.
that's really meaningful.
Mhm.
If you bring us coffee, like that means something. It's not just
Yeah.
gonna be we grab it and we go. Like it means you thought of us before
Yeah.
you came in, and so all of that. You've made this year worth it. Even when the money wasn't there, because we were working with you, it allowed us to keep our head up and keep kind of trudging forward down the path because we know what we're doing is right. We know that taking care of you, putting you in a position to live the life you're meant to lead, that is worth our time, okay? So I guess that was the deep of the deep.
That was the deep of the deep. You had a big old bubble. It's a big gray bubble.
I'll sit up in a second.
I can't sit up.
So what else we got?
And you kick my ass. What else do we have? Let's see. We have the potluck tomorrow, regular schedule.
Bro, what else are you grateful for? We don't need a
Uh,
schedule.
I don't know if you wanted to move on from that.
Nah, man.
I mean,
Grateful for the Joe Rogan podcast.
yeah, I didn't want to say that. I was thinking it, but I didn't want to say it.
Why
I
not,
definitely was
man?
thinking about
Why
it.
not?
Yes, I am grateful for podcasts in general because podcasts, you could learn so much from a podcast. Like you could hear something, you like, you're like, well, let me do some research on that. You do some research, you find out it's true. You end up learning something new, which is something I kind of wanted to bring up, having to do with Thanksgiving and something I heard on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Well, now you're gonna say it.
Okay, I have to say it, but it's kind of a downer.
Oh, good.
It's kind of a downer, kind of not, because some people will care, some people won't. But I keep telling you about this one guy I recently heard with Joe Rogan, William Von Hippel.
Yep.
He's a psychologist, professor of psychology. And something very interesting, makes total sense, that variety is a big reason for why we go through a lot of hell. And when I say hell, I mean like we overeat, we end up being obese, people get divorced. Like it's variety that caused that, because as we developed, as we evolved and whatnot, meat was the only thing. That was the main thing, right? You eat meat, you eat enough, you're full, you're done. Nowadays, we have so much variety in our diet, and Thanksgiving is a perfect example of that. If you had a plate and you just ate turkey, you wouldn't eat very much turkey.
Right.
You'd eat enough till you were done.
Right.
And then you'd be done. You'd move on. You wouldn't eat no more. But take that same amount of turkey, you add some sides to it. You're still going to eat that turkey. You're still full on that turkey, but somehow you're making room for mashed potatoes, macaroni, stuffing, pie, and dessert. Even though you're full, you're still going to eat it, because we didn't evolve to say no to that, because it's still so new to us that we could just pound carbs. Like we have a mechanism that says, oh, you've had enough protein, you're done. We don't have a mechanism that says, oh, you've had enough sugar, salt, and fat, keep on pounding. Because back in the day, like that was so scarce that that's what we wanted. Now we have an abundance of it. We have so much salt, sugar, and fat everywhere that now we just keep eating it. It's no longer scarce.
Right.
So like Thanksgiving is a perfect example of how you could just overeat and overeat and overeat. But any other regular day, if you just had your bare necessities, you'd get full real quick.
Well, I
You'd
mean,
be satiated.
to be very, very clear, Thanksgiving the meal itself is no longer special because we have access to that
it's-
variety all the time.
Exactly. Variety
And-
all the time.
And whether it's going to somewhere, and I mean, top of my head, like a Luby's or a Boston Market, where it's actually literally laid out in front of you,
Yeah.
going to a restaurant where a plate comes with 3 different things. It
Mhm.
comes with a meat, comes with a protein, comes with a starch or
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, so if I was gonna cook dinner right now and I made you a meat and I made you roasted vegetables and I didn't tell you anything else, I just said let's eat this, and so we ate, and then we ate intentionally to get full.
Yeah.
And so then you're like,
Big steak.
I'm like, all right, man, you full? And you're like, yeah, dude, I don't want another bite. And I go, all right, cool, I have pie.
Give me some of that pie.
You're like, oh, I'm hungry.
You got whipped cream?
Yeah, like you're like, no, I got I'm like, oh, so we don't want pie, right? Because you're full, right?
Yeah.
And like, oh, no. I could definitely.
No, I could make some room.
I could eat pie.
I could stretch the lining of my stomach a bit for that.
And so, and that's what's weird. I don't even think it feels like you would have to. Like, I think the sugar stimulus, is so different that even though I feel physically full from the vegetables and the meat, as soon as you say pie, that feeling goes away.
Yeah, no, your brain's like, oh, I like sugar.
It's like if you think the workout's only going to be running, and I make you run about 2 miles, and then I come back, all right, we're going to do something else. It's probably going to be running. You're like, I cannot move again.
I'm done running.
But I'm like, no, we're going to snatch now. You're like, oh, okay, cool.
I like snatches.
Because we're excited about that. The
Yeah.
stimulus is different, you know. And it's fascinating mentally how that works.
Well, that was one of the things that stuck out to me in that podcast. I was like, wow, that's so true. Like I could just have a plate of eggs and vegetables and I am good.
Right.
But if someone comes home like, hey, I brought donuts. Oh, I have a donut.
Yep.
Even though I'm full on my eggs and spinach.
Well, and so what you're speaking to a lot of things here, and I'm sure he was talking scientifically. So he's talking both like kind of biological,
Yeah, he's talking about like biological.
and also a little bit of psychological response. Okay, but here's the other thing you're kind of touching on is like the fallacy of choice, and more is better.
Yeah.
Okay, and so more options is better.
Well, that's why I threw divorce in there.
Yeah.
He's saying there's more.
I don't even think you just have to say divorce, because then you can be like, oh, well, what about not divorce? I think you could just say
like variety in people.
unhappiness in relationships.
Yeah.
And the rise of something like let's say Tinder, okay, or online dating. We'll say that because of Tinder, it's a hookup app. Look, man, if you hook up on Tinder, you can hook up on Bumble. So I don't want to hear that one's
They're
more.
all hookup apps, yo.
Yeah, and
They're
like
all
Bumble's
hookup
so much
apps.
better. Hey, Bumble, get off yourself, okay? You know what your women say? They say hi, okay? Like women respond first, so women are in control. So that means when I get matched on Bumble, they're going to say something witty, right? Nope, they say hi. They go H-I, and now it's your turn to do the same thing you would have had to do on Tinder, okay? So, like, what is this thing that Bumble's so much women are in control? Shut it, all right? The only thing women are in control of there is they don't have to start the conversation, which then why are you matched? So, like, there's so many things.
Did you ever see the one where it was for cowboys? If you wanted to find a cowboy, like a farmhand. It was for like if you want to get with the farmer, it was
There's something
specifically
for everybody
farmer.
out there.
Yeah.
And
was-
so,
it was-
but
that was that-
what
for that.
Tinder or online dating, we should say, because it's all the same. Anywhere where you become aware of how many other singles there are.
Mhm.
I think it was, I forget who. I will think of his name in a second, but a gentleman from New York who has a podcast, and James Altucher. I think he was talking about one time on either his podcast or one of his books, dating back or marriage back in the day. Generally, you married someone from your building because you lived in an apartment. So in New York City, most people 50, 100 years ago, they married someone in their building because that's who they were around. They weren't aware of anybody in another building. They weren't aware of, especially weren't aware of someone in a different borough or different county, definitely not a different state, okay? So you got married, and then divorce rate stayed low. Now, there's some other things there because, like, divorce wasn't prevalent. People didn't think they were allowed to get divorced, so a lot of men and women stayed in unhealthy relationships. So we're not saying that this was a better time. But in terms of choice, you didn't know you had other choices, and so you married what you saw in front of you. And the idea, I guess you would say, is that you were satisfied because the grass wasn't greener somewhere else. You weren't aware that you could make that up, that the grass was greener. Well, now on Tinder or Bumble or even eHarmony, any of these things, it's just single after single after single after. Oh, she's kind of pretty, but I think she's prettier. Or I like her bio, but her bio's better. And then so it's like,
or I can swipe right on both and see which one takes the bait.
Or I start going on dates with the first one, but then the second one starts talking to me, and I've already gone on a few dates. So I'm gonna put her or him on hold.
It's kind of boring. Let me try this one out.
And so I'm gonna go over to him. And so and there's all this stuff now. But
there's still people that don't have access to that.
But it's same as food.
Yeah,
like
it's variety.
if if we Tim Ferriss talks about in the 4-Hour Body, the men and women that are the most successful in changing their dietary lifestyle are those that stick to similar meals every day.
Consistency.
They're consistent with similar food every day. Now, it doesn't mean you have to prepare them exactly the same.
And people think that's boring.
But that's the thing. We think choice is a good thing.
It's not.
But choice is our way of
I
not
figured.
staying committed. Okay?
Yeah.
Choice is our way of rationalizing a lack of discipline. Because we're like, no, I shouldn't stick to this program because I saw that program. Invictus is snatching today, and I don't want to snatch. Misfits clean and jerking. I'd rather clean and jerk today.
Even though I clean and jerked yesterday.
Even though Invictus clean and jerked yesterday, and I clean and jerked yesterday.
Or I come in tomorrow and Invictus has clean and jerks. I'm like, oh shit, I should have waited. Now I fucked up my programming.
Exactly.
Now I throw off my week.
And now you're wondering why you're not making gains, why you're injured, why you're whatever. And it's because you have to commit. Like a mediocre program or a mediocre food choice, a mediocre whatever committed to is better than a bunch of choices that you think are perfect.
Yeah.
Because you're going to bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce. And that means that you're not actually going to make the progress or lay the groundwork for discipline that you're hoping to make or lay down.
Like
So
I tried this and it didn't work. Well, how long did you try it? Oh, a month.
that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, nope, that don't work. You gotta try a lot. Like people are too impatient. That was another thing they brought up. It's like they brought us we're just too impatient to try things out to let things ride out. Like if it's not working right now, it's probably not gonna work ever. But if you were just more patient, you might find out, oh, this is actually working for me. This is actually benefiting me. But no one's patient enough to do that.
Well, let's look at some people we should brag about right now. You know, I was thinking Christmas party's coming up. We're trying to figure out a few different things that we're going to do for that and whether we're going to do awards or not. And if we did awards, we would definitely do like MVPs of the year, people that have transformed the most over the years. And so, 3 people come to mind in this moment, right off the top of my head: Tank, Summer, and Brandy. Okay? Like Adriana came back today. So Adriana Morel was back in town. Adriana Carmichael. Sorry, Avery and Adriana were in town today, or the past couple days. Adriana saw Summer, and she said that Summer looked completely different. And I think Summer told me that Adriana walked up to her and said, "It's so awesome to see you strong."
Yeah.
Okay? Now, again, I think we mentioned this on podcast before, so I'm sorry if we're like harping on one person's journey here, but Summer was a tiny, little, frail, shy human being when she first started with us. Like the frailest, shyest human in the world. And now she is a monster. She is a monster that is charismatic and willing to talk and willing to chat and willing to lift and willing to push.
Willing to help others.
And she takes care of people, and she looks awesome. Like she looks awesome. 2 others, Tank and Brandy. Tank's journey's been a little bit shorter. He's been working out for a long time.
Yeah, he's been strong.
But I'm sorry, Tank, your journey doesn't count until about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, because something switched. You and I talked to him one night, and then after that night, he came in, and he has, just in that short period of time, kicked ass, lost a ton of weight, and I mean, you just watch it. Everything's improving.
He's lost weight since March. He's told me he was 275 in March, and now he's somewhere shy of 200.
That's
over 200
crazy.
Now.
That's crazy.
It's a lot of weight to lose.
And
he's wearing smaller shirts.
He's coming in.
He's coming in on cardio days. Tank is crushing it.
And he's kicking ass, man. He's not dragging through the workouts anymore.
And he's doing another competition because he just did one last week.
2 competitions in a month. That's fantastic. And then finally, Brandy. Brandy shows up probably a little bit too much. Like, probably a little bit too stubborn.
Yeah.
But guess what? Without those characteristics, she doesn't make the progress she's made. You know? And that's why the teammate, like kind of having a coach-athlete why am I trying to say teamship right now? But relationship.
Teamship.
Like, she has to be able to trust her coaches to tell her to back off.
Yeah.
But when we don't tell her to back off, she's got to be willing to go.
Yeah.
And that's what she does. She comes in every day and she pushes, and she's so consistent. They don't stray from the program. They don't do a bunch of random stuff on their own.
I was actually really surprised that she listened to me the other day. I gave her a little scale, and she gave me the little pouty face, but she listened, and I was like, whoa, okay. That was interesting.
Look at that.
So thank you, Brandy, for listening. We highly appreciate it. And that goes for everyone. Whenever you listen to us, whenever you give you a scale, we do it for your benefit, and we appreciate when you listen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But so all that to being said, they aren't They're definitely not changing gyms every month.
No.
They're not. Well, at least Tank no longer. The other two never really did. They're not cherry picking their workouts.
Tank's got a lot of equipment at his house.
They're being consistent.
We got to throw down Tank. Yeah, they are.
What's funny about that is, like, that's an example of choice.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at the workout and goes, bunch of burpees, bunch of running. I'm going to stay in my garage and lift.
Yeah.
And then you tell yourself, because, again, it's like food. I could rationalize different food choice that's still healthy, but then do I actually do it?
Yeah.
Or does it make me not eat the good food and then I eventually stray too far?
Mm-hmm.
And so Tank looks at the workout and goes, too much cardio. Yeah. I'm going to stay home and work out in my gym. Okay, nothing wrong with that plan until then he doesn't actually work out with any intensity or he doesn't get done what he needs to get done. Mm-hmm. And so then suddenly that choice is what pulled him away from progress. Mm-hmm. And so I think that these three are great examples. And there are many, many more of y'all. There are many, many other stories just like these, okay? But these three stand out to us because they stay the course. When they're in town, they show up. When they do travel, they know they can relax. And then when they get back in town, they work their ass off again. And so I agree, man. I know the start on Thanksgiving meal and having too many choices there because a feast is not healthy, but, like, it's all the same. Yeah, like, having choice is having choice. And then not to mention decision fatigue. If you constantly had to decide because you have 10 choices in front of you, and we talked about this with, like, Steve Jobs.
You might not choose any of it. You might just go do something else, and there you go, back to that variety.
That's it.
Doing something inconsistent.
There's something for, like, knowing what you have to do. Like, when you lay your head down at night, if the next day is decided for you, you can operate much more effectively than if you've got to wake up and create a new way every single time.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a lot less stressful.
One of our favorite quotes, discipline equals freedom, from Jocko Willink. Yeah. And what he means by that is, like, structure your day, and then the creative parts kind of take care of themselves. You are more creative. You'll have more fun if you're operating within structured parameters. It doesn't take away. The fallacy is that it takes away from creative time. It actually allows you, because I don't have to be creative on what I wear. Yeah. I'm going to wear black shorts and a black top. If it's cold, I'm going to wear black pants and a black top. Like, I wake up and I'm dressed. I don't have to think about it. I don't look at it. Actually, I lay my clothes out the night before. But the point is, I just put them on.
That definitely helps. And you wake up just, that's.
But even like
it saves a lot of time.
It sounds silly, man. But like even like picking out what socks you're gonna wear, like, and especially you with all your creative socks.
Sometimes I'm like, wait, which socks do I wear?
That's it. Like
sometimes.
And that sounds dumb, but
Most
like
times.
Underwear, socks, that's as difficult to choose as pants and shirts.
Underwear. So just kidding.
If it's already laid out for you, that decision is made.
Bubbles.
And so we've already made that decision.
What's up, CrossFit B someone? Thanks for tuning in.
Ruby, we are located on Airline at Main in Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas. We're right across the street from Teotihuacan. And
whoa there.
Guys, y'all can't keep criticizing every different way I say it. At least one way has to be right.
No, it's fantastic. Everyone would appreciate it.
Huacan? Okay, Teo. We're across from Teo. Okay, the greatest taqueria in Houston. And let's see what else we buy.
Pinkerton's Barbecue.
Right down the street from Pinkerton's Barbecue. We back up to Monty Beach Park.
Directly across the street from
You can just
County
Google
Health.
Black Wolf CrossFit, and we will come up. We would love to meet you. We offer a free week of classes.
Airline location, not the Irvington location.
Not Irvington. Don't go to Irvington, and at least not anytime soon. Okay, so... But no, I think your choice. I don't think that was a downer. I think that was a great topic to bring up.
I didn't know how to frame it. It wasn't a downer. It was just like bringing light to something.
Well,
like
I mean, if I had just gorged myself for a day, and then you said, "Hey, man, you made a bunch of wrong," that would be a downer.
Yeah, it would be a downer.
But I think it's interesting because, like, variety is the spice of life.
Variety is the spice of life, but it's also our demise.
It's a big fat lie. That's a big fat lie. Because now, I mean, so I need a different woman or a different man. I need different food. I need different workouts. I need, like...
Well, when they talk... So, just so you could listen to that part, this is towards the end of that podcast. So if you wanted to fast forward to that, if anyone else wants to listen to that part, it is very interesting. It is literally the last... If you watch it on YouTube, it'll be the last 10, 15 minutes. If you're on the podcast, because there's ads and whatnot, maybe the last 20 minutes. But it's super interesting, and they also bring to light how, like, different areas of the world, like, people are different because they're used to eating different things, like Mexico and spices. Like, I would be dying, but a kid in Mexico would probably have, like, the hottest food ever, and I'm over here sweating bullets because I'm not used to that. And how, like, variety does make the world an interesting place. It's just your ability to moderate your variety that'll be beneficial to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think this is to say that you're never allowed to have something you don't normally have.
Yeah.
The problem is you're having it on a Monday.
Yeah.
like just a generic Monday, and you're like, I'm going to get 17 different foods. No, that's wrong. Get some chicken, get some vegetables, and shut up.
Yeah.
You know, maybe Saturday's exciting. But you know what would even be better? If you did like a fun food thing like once a month. It doesn't even have to be every weekend. Like we get so pulled outside of ourselves, and that's not how we operate most effectively. And as you and I have been saying, man, it's already Thanksgiving. Now Thanksgiving's already gone. You know, we're sitting on Black Friday right now, and it's life's going by fast. And so if you don't want to take care of yourself, I mean, that's your choice. But like, you can look at it one or two ways. You're either going to exacerbate your current health issues and your current misery and lead a very miserable life and die in a very short period of time. And I'm not saying you're dying today. I'm saying that even if you live to 110, that's going to be over very quickly. Or you can take steps toward bettering yourself and living the best life possible. And because time's going by so quick, use that to your advantage. Like if I think of like eating well for 30 days, when I think of 30 days, it's a long time. But man, 30 days went quick. November's almost over.
Quick.
And we on November 1st go, oh, shit, it's November.
Yeah.
So 30 days goes quick.
So fast.
So take it one day at a time. Quit staring at 30 days. Stare at one day. And that's what's going to allow us to make progress towards bettering ourselves.
I've brought up their little shenanigans before, but Joe Rogan and friends, Sober October for 30 days, it went by so fast for them. They were so astonished at how fast that those 30 days of just straight up discipline and being crazy on workouts went by. But what it also brought to light was what they're capable of doing.
Right.
Like, you're capable of doing so much without you knowing it, and you have so many distractions that keep you from realizing what you're capable of.
Absolutely. And so we ought to tack this on in there. So the holiday season's coming, and it's already started this weekend. This is usually the time where a few people will begin to lose consistency.
Yep.
And so I think what's really important about what we're talking about here in terms of consistency, in
It's
terms
just
of
a different season, folks.
Look, yeah, that's one thing. This is no different than summer. This is no different than the transition to the school year. This is no different from the transition from the school year to the summer. Like, the holiday season is no different than anything.
It's just a season.
And so what you need to understand is you have to continue your journey. Because if you disappear right now, and usually the excuse is, I'm going to travel.
Yeah.
Okay? First of all, how long are you traveling? I mean, if you're taking a month to travel, great.
That's fantastic.
But are you?
Yeah.
A lot of times it's, I have a weekend trip here, I have a weekend trip there. I'm going to go ahead and stop coming.
Unless you're from Europe, 6 weeks vacations. That's
There you
insane.
But they're not from Europe.
Yeah,
and
no,
so,
you're not from Europe because you're here with us.
And so I want to just emphasize, be consistent over the holidays.
Yeah.
Now, quickly.
Wear a sweater.
It might not be 5 days a week. It might not be 4 days a week. Maybe when you're busy, it's 2 or 3 days a week. You know, like progress is still progress. Just because that vacation is coming up, you can come in the day you get back. You can come in the day before you leave. Like, I think people give up, and guess what happens? They stumble back in here in January or February. They're way worse than they were because now they've gorged themselves over the holidays. They maintain no level of discipline.
It's only Christmas once.
And
it's been that way for the past.
But it's only Christmas every year. Like, it comes back every year.
It's only Thanksgiving once a year. Well,
there's 52 weeks in a year, and you guys want 2 weeks for Christmas and 1 week for Thanksgiving. That means you want 3 weeks out of 52 to do whatever you want. And that's not a great choice.
That's not to mention the rest of the week where it's just like there's not much discipline. It's like, well, it's only the weekend once a week.
I was just saying, and you've been playing this game for 3 days out of a 7-day work week or 7-day week every week for 52 weeks. So, like,
happy hour.
I want you to embrace the idea you're not going to be perfect during the holidays, but making an effort. I think intention goes so far. Okay? And the road to hell's paved with good intentions, yada, yada. I mean truly good intention, because I think if you truly intend to do well by yourself, you will do better than you would.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't lose hope. Okay? To make sure you're simply understanding. You wake up and you say, today I'm going to the gym, and you go. And you say, tomorrow's a busy day, I'm not going to make it. That's okay. I'm leaving Friday for a 3-day vacation. That's okay. I'm taking a week off. That's okay. All of this is okay, but you have to be intentional about your time before and your time after, and it is okay if it's not the ideal. Most of you aren't coming 3 days on, 1 day off over and over again, which is the ideal.
Honestly,
okay?
your time during as well. I mean, if you're going on vacation, like, be present in the moment and don't just waste away. Just, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm on vacation. I'm just going to lay about and just, like, be present in the moment. Enjoy your vacation. Like, really take in what you're doing. If you're going hiking, don't be on your phone telling her, hey, Barry, look, I'm hiking. Like, be in there, smell that fresh air. Like, really soak in what's happening in the moment when you're on vacation. Because then you appreciate it more and you'll actually remember what you did on vacation.
So that brings up a great point you and I talked about the other day. So time's going fast, right?
So fast.
So we kind of concluded if we put our phones down more and even screens.
Yeah.
Because we kind of decided, like, we unpacked the idea that, like, time flies when you're having fun. Okay? And we kind of extrapolated, or we brought that down to, like, well, okay, well, time also flies when I'm staring at Netflix. Time also flies when I'm staring at Instagram. Like, oh, my God, I was just on Instagram for 2 hours.
Time flies when you're stimulated.
So time flies when you're stimulated, both positively and negatively.
Yeah.
Okay? And so what we need to do is curb that stimulation during our downtime.
Yeah.
There's sometimes the stimulation's great.
Yeah.
Stimulating conversation, stimulating activity, and those things. And this isn't going to vilify social media. I think, unfortunately, it's something that's going to be a part of our culture. But I do think that if we could reduce that time just by a bit, I think time would slow down for us and we'd get more from our day. We'd get more from our interaction or from our life. And you really hit the nail on the head with be present. And so whether it's in conversation, but also be present with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, when you have a little bit of downtime, maybe just sit there and, like, be with yourself.
Like, reflect.
You know? Take a second to think. That's where, like, having that journal, doing the gratitude list. Like, what are you grateful for? Hey, top 3 things. What are you grateful for? Okay, bing, bang, boom. And maybe you don't have that list off the top of your head, so you actually have to think about it.
Yeah.
You know, but I think you're going to have a more meaningful day, a more meaningful hour, if you can manage to just reduce, not eliminate, although elimination might be great, reduce the amount of time that we're allowing external stimulation that maybe not be as productive as we would hope it to be.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Definitely. Like for me, like, I was really thinking about how when I listen to a podcast, like, making sure that I take something from it and not just listen to it. Because I like listening to podcasts because you learn a lot. And then it's like, well, what'd you learn? Oh, I forgot. Because I just listened to it really quick and then I moved on to another one. So I've been practicing, like, listening until I actually, like, remember what happened. Because in the moment, I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. I got to share that. And I don't share it. And I forget about it because there's so many more things within a podcast or within a book or within something you've seen on TV. Like, try to hold on to, like, anything you're taking in. Because usually we're just taking in and it's just flying out. Like, it's just going in, flying out, going in, flying out. You're just watching and then not learning anything.
Right. So, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, be intentional there, too, like, with what you're being stimulated with.
Well, I mean, we can bring this all the way full circle now. The whole reason CrossFit works is because whatever we choose to do, we do with maximal intensity. Okay? So if I choose to read a book, I should sit down and solely read that book.
Yeah.
You know, I shouldn't listen to a podcast while I'm reading that book. If I choose to sit down with my family, then I should choose to fully be present sitting down with my family.
Not with the phone in your hand.
Not with the phone in my hand. And so if I choose to work out, I should choose to work out with intent, you know, with
share that and do part 2.
So I think that is a lesson from CrossFit, as there are many lessons in CrossFit, but I think that's one.
Part 2.
Whatever you choose to do, like, and I mean, I think it's actually biblical, like, do it with your whole heart, you know, like, be all in on this, and it doesn't have to be just biblical for those
all in or nothing, right?
Philosophy, whatever, like, whatever you choose to do it well. And so being present, you know, you're not doing well. You're not scrolling Instagram well. There's not a version of scrolling Instagram that is like, oh, I'm a great scroller.
Bro, let me show you how fast I can scroll and like at the same time.
I mean, like, I guess that's something that it's not. It's not.
Someone probably did an extreme sport.
Like, I watch a lot of The Office on Netflix. It doesn't mean I do it well. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I slowed down like I told you, I slowed down my consumption of The Office because you were bringing things up that I had passed. I was like, wait, I don't remember that because I was just watching it too fast. Like, I was just taking in. Oh, this is funny. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Well,
what happened and what?
So, you know, it's funny you bring that up, and we've touched on this before, but I'm more and more convinced of it. So I probably watched The Office. What do we say now? 10 times through, 12, 15 times through. Who knows?
Crazy. But it's just playing in the background.
But that's the thing. Like, so 15th time through, I still see stuff that I didn't see before.
Yeah.
And that's fun to, like, hey, I love this show because every time I watch it, there's something new. You know what that actually means? I'm not being present while I'm watching it.
No. You're not appreciating everything that's going into it.
Do you know what happens when you watch TV without your phone? You don't watch that much TV because you go, this isn't that exciting.
Yeah.
You watch an episode or two and you go, how many times can we do the same stuff? Let's get off this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if I have my phone on, I'll watch 6 episodes in a row on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, I don't want to do anything today. I'm just going to sit here and stare at my phone and have Michael Scott in the background.
But here's the thing. Your phone is the TV.
Well, I mean,
So now it's super easy to just like, oh, let me get out of here. I got a notification. Bam. Oh, you like that? Hey, hi, how you doing? Oh,
So-
I'm just watching The Office.
so even in our consumption of things that are controversial, like social media or television, I think even if we were present then,
Mm-hmm.
I think we would reduce our time on it.
Yeah. And again, I'm not like we're not trying to demonize it, like you're saying, just like stop consuming so much of it.
I know it's
While you're
something. I
doing
know
one
it's something that eats at my quality of life.
Yeah,
For a
definitely.
fact.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
personally, I know that my life is not better when I spend an inordinate amount of time with a screen,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what is on that screen.
Well, it's physically bad for you. It's
Well,
bad
that's-
for your neck because you're looking down. It's
Sure.
bad for your eyesight because of the blue light. So
Sure.
there are physical things that make it bad for you besides being psychologically bad for you. Like if you're not getting enough likes or if someone said something bad about you, like you got to learn how to block that noise out.
Absolutely.
It's-
Absolutely.
It's
So
a whole wormhole.
okay, so
rabbit
that was
hole.
good talk. We're
Rabbit hole, wormhole.
coming up on about an hour.
Both work?
Wormhole, rabbit hole. I mean, wormhole's more
It sounds spacey,
intellectual.
Right? Wormhole?
We don't know where we're going.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows how far that worm went?
Yeah. Light years. Okay. So I think that gets us pretty well done for today.
No, I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
We did great. Yeah, I
Okay.
like this one, yeah.
So now, what do we got ahead? So now we got the potluck tomorrow.
So potluck tomorrow, starting at 5 p.m. Remember,
Yes.
there's a thread on Facebook, so you can see who's bringing what. Did you put that on the Black Wolf CrossFit page as well? Not the Quad City, and then there's Black Wolf. and
It
there's
shared the
CrossFit.
event when I made it, but I
Yeah.
probably need to share it again.
Yeah, so we'll get that reshared.
Yeah,
for you
we'll share
folks
that
to,
right now.
to make sure that you stay on track and know who's bringing what.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, is the first next weekend? So next
Don't
weekend.
be sorry because you are right.
Next weekend.
Next weekend.
Who we got out there?
Next weekend, folks, Annihilation Games in Katy, thrown by Annihilation CrossFit. We have Tank and Angie competing as a team.
Yep.
We have Summer and Erica competing as a team.
Yep.
We have myself competing as an individual.
Yep.
And there are still spots open if you want to sign up and join us.
Yep.
And Ben will be holding it down here at the fort for
Yep.
8 a.m. and 9 a.m. CrossFit. That will still stay
have
the
classes.
same.
Yep.
But you have 5 of us for sure signed up going to the Annihilation Games to compete, have a grand old time. It's super fun to watch even if you're not competing. We highly appreciate your support every single time you go out there and cheer us on. And we've been talking a lot about was Beast Mode for Bullies. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we hung the posters up on December 8th. So two weekends
weekend
now.
after next week.
Yeah, 2 weekends from now. It seems to be how it works out.
Everything's coming too fast, man.
CrossFit Conroe CrossFit Conroe
CrossFit Conroe.
in Conroe,
And
which is up north, up 45, just outside the Woodlands.
Tanks area.
So I bet it's 30 minutes from here
Yeah, yeah.
on a Saturday. I bet
Yeah,
it's 30 minutes from here.
Mhm.
Okay, they're doing Beast Mode for Bullies, which is an actual competition, I believe. I think there's multiple workouts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not a single workout type.
No, multiple work.
It's and all the money goes to
Pit
Bulldog.
bulls,
I mean Bulldog,
rescues.
Pit Bull Rescue,
Yeah.
Bully Rescue.
They're gonna have adoptions as well.
Yeah,
if
they'll
you're-
have rescues out there with adoptable
if
puppies,
you're looking into
which is
that.
very dangerous. Because that means take all the dogs home. And then they'll have food, they'll have all the normal stuff at competition. So
Mhm.
we love stuff with a good cause, and Beast Mode for Bullies, what a cool name.
That's
And what a
awesome.
great cause. So
Mhm.
what I would like to see is a lot of us register for that. So that would be
Yeah.
the weekend after
Yeah.
Annihilation Games.
Mhm.
And so, and I would imagine it's going to be an 8 a.m. to noon kind of thing, 8 a.m. to 1 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so expect that. But if you're interested, this is a great beginner, all levels.
Yeah, all levels.
Because
folks.
it's not about performance, man. It's not about you being able to win. It's about you raising money for these
Yeah.
rescues.
money and awareness for pit bulls.
that's
and
it. And
a
so
misunderstood breed.
that is December 8th in Conroe. Get signed up for that. The posters are hanging around the gym. We'll find a link and we'll share that across Quad City and the Black Wolf Facebook page.
It's just so funny how people some react to pit bulls. I was walking Bruce yesterday,
Yep.
and this couple they were like I could tell they drove by, they saw my dog, I noticed they were looking. I was like, oh, I guess they like Bruce. They wanted to walk their dog too, right?
Yep.
So they They're parked somewhere yonder, right? Somewhere far.
Where
well,
were you?
This is in Melrose Park,
Okay.
parking in my area. So I'm walking back towards home, and I'm getting close to crossing paths with them. Well, they see me and my dog, and they had their dog loose.
Yeah.
They quickly scurry to their dog and start walking the other way. I was like, well, they don't. My dog. Bruce
Don't-
is friendly.
But maybe their dog misbehaves when he sees other dogs.
This is a pretty nice looking dog.
But it
was
might
a
be.
big hairy.
I mean, I would.
like a mountain dog.
I'd
But I
put,
mean, yeah, you're right.
I'd
Like,
put
there's
Jax
even
back
that.
on a leash if I saw another dog.
Yeah.
Because I'd be afraid of him just being too rambunctious and bounding straight towards him, and then they get scared.
He's a rambunctious dog who's taking a nap right now from all that
Big sleeping bear.
energy.
Okay, so the 8th is Beast Mode for Bullies, and then
And then
the 15th will be here. What's the event on the 15th? From loosely, this is not official. It's official enough to put it on the
so
calendar.
starting from the beginning of the 15th, 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. workout.
8 a.m. and 9 a.m. workout on the
Yeah,
15th,
stay
which is a
tuned.
Saturday. Okay. And then at 11, from 11 to 2, we'll say right now. 11 a.m. to 2,
Unofficially, officially.
we're going to do your dog photos with Santa.
Mm-hmm.
So I got myself a theater quality Santa suit. I'll be dressed up as Santa Claus. We'll have a little Santa chair. I think what we'll do, I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do because it's going to look really nice, and I want it to be a surprise when you walk in.
It's going to be a
But,
surprise, so be prepared.
Basically, for a small donation, and we'll either say donation or we'll say $5, something like that, whatever you can donate. We'll do photos with Santa, so your dog will either sit on my lap or sit on something next to me, and we'll do a dog photo with Santa Claus, and the money will help us kind of offset some of the costs. We generally have a reduction in revenue in December and January because some people decide they're traveling too much to work out, and so this will help us cover that.
Too fast.
And then what I would like to do, and this is where I might need some help, what I would like to do is build what we would call gingerbread houses,
Oh, yeah.
but probably graham cracker houses.
yeah, graham cracker.
Because gingerbread, we can't bake it and
Yeah, it's too thick.
but basically
It's
make
too
like little
messy.
Christmas houses with frosting. We'll have the frosting and stuff. So maybe like $5 donation, you get a little spot with as many graham crackers as you want,
Yeah.
and you build gingerbread houses.
It's going to be a winter wonderland.
Yeah, so that would be Saturday the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to take place of our Christmas party.
Yes.
Our Christmas party, we generally spend $2,000 on it, and we make back about $1,000 on the tickets. And so we're just not in a position to lose another $1,000 for the 4th year in a row. So we'll have our 4-year anniversary. Maybe we'll do that. Like maybe if we do something separate, we'll probably do like a Pinkerton's night or something like that. But for now, in terms of Christmas party, we're just going to say a daytime event on December 15th, loosely 11 to 3, 11 to 2, it'd probably be a little bit longer. But I'm only going to be in the Santa suit for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
And so
Not the whole time.
go and put that on the calendar because we want all of you to come. If you want a picture with Santa, we can do that as well.
Yeah.
But the idea is it's for the puppies.
Yes.
And so that'll be what
Dress
we
your
do
dog up as
on
well.
December 15th. And then we'll go from there. So I think that's it.
That sounds like we've wrapped up the next 3 weeks.
Okay. That's exciting.
That is
Good
exciting.
stuff coming. All right, Joel. Well, if there's nothing else, thanks for being here. Thanks for
All right,
another
Ben.
great episode.
Of course. Anytime, every time. Thank you, folks, for tuning in and always listening to us and dealing with us and showing up and putting in the work.
That's right. That's right. So here's to another week. We will see you next Friday for another episode. This was episode 28.
28.
So coming up on episode 30. That's exciting.
That's crazy.
That's exciting.
That's how many months is this?
No, an episode. So 28 is
4,
7 months.
Holy shit.
Probably 6.5 because there's
Yeah.
4.3 weeks in a year. I
Yeah,
mean, 4.3 weeks in a month.
Yeah.
And so probably about 6.5 months.
Yeah.
Pretty
That's
crazy.
crazy. Time is flying, folks. Be present.
Okay, everybody. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your Thanksgiving weekend. Make sure you do something to treat yourself. Relax. That doesn't have to be gluttony. Okay.
Enjoy
like
those
actual
leftovers.
recovery. Get a massage. Go float in an
Ooh.
isolation tank.
Ooh.
Get away from your kids for a second. Get away from your husband and wife if they're a nag.
Ooh.
Enjoy life.
Enjoy
Okay. You got a
life.
short one. We all gonna be dead soon, so enjoy it while you can.
Damn. That's a good one to leave on.
Peace.
Peace.